Now, how are we going to see all this on our monitor? So we are going to do, the brand name is Teradek. It's like the Kleenex of wireless monitors. So it's the most popular brand. There's a receiver and there's a transmitter. No need to label them, here's why. The receiver is a bigger unit, that goes to the monitor. The transmitter is a smaller unit, that goes to the camera. This is why you don't have to label it, because this is smaller, so the engineers were smart enough to make this smaller so it could fit on your camera. Yeah? All right. So there's a couple of accessories in here. I'm not going to get too far deep. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there's some antennas. So I'm going to attach that here to the antenna receivers. There's two things that the wireless system needs. It needs power, it needs data. So in other words, a video signal and power to operate it. Here is a LEMO style connector, or receiver, I should say. That's going to provide power. Here we have SDI. We have an SDI in and an SDI out. We also have an HDMI. In this case, we're going to use the LEMO power port, and we're going to use the SDI in. Yeah? All right, good. This side of the camera shows you your SDI out ports. So that's going to output a signal, which then needs to go into this. So that's a good way to remember that. Signals coming out and then going in. Okay, good. So there's a Noga arm. So this end, the thumb screw or the finger tightening screw goes onto the transmitter, and then this other end that doesn't have the thumb screw goes to the camera. On the camera, it's going to go on this side. There's a little plate here that has 1/4-20 receivers and 3/8 receivers. 1/4-20 is the standard screw size that you see in a lot of tripod base plates. That's going to attach here, and you want to have this knob tight so you could actually tighten this onto, this is known as a cheese plate. It's got little holes in it. So you tighten that. Then you take your transmitter, and then with the thumb screw, you tighten it to the 1/4-20 receiver, and then all these ports, you have them facing this end because this is where you're going to attach them to the camera. And it's totally okay if these antennas project out from the camera body. That's actually a good thing because they're going to have a little bit more clearance to transmit a signal, right? If it was down here on the ground, it might make it harder to transmit that signal. So what are the two things that this needs to operate?
Data and power.
Data and power, that's right. So we have a cable here. What type of connector is this? D-tap, excellent. How about this connector here?
A circle.
Wrong. No. This is a LEMO connector, L-E-M-O. I don't know what it stands for, but it's a LEMO connector. It's got a sleeve so you don't twist. So I'm going to pop that in there, and then this D-tap goes into the D-tap power adapter in the top here. Cable management, you want to make sure everything's nice and neat. We won't worry too much about that right now, but I kind of tucked everything away. So it's got power. What else does it need now? Data. So that's going to be this cable here. So it's an SDI to SDI cable. So that's going to go into my SDI1. So this SDI1 is going to output a video signal from the camera to this transmitter, which then will transmit a signal to our receiver, which will then provide data or a video signal to our monitor. So this, I'm gonna go in. Camera's outputting a signal. This is going into the Terra deck. This now has power. So I recommend you attach this here on the right side of the monitor. It has multiple receivers. So same thing, you're gonna want to attach this and here. Actually, let's do it. Bottom's fine. You can see that, great. You probably got a bad angle there.
I can see it.
You can see it? Okay. Nice and tight. Again, thumb screw to the receiver. Righty tighty. Nice and tight. I'll have this kind of rested up against the monitor. And then, what does this need in order to operate? Power and what?
Data.
Power and data. All right, cool. So that's 2 cables, right? Cool. So as mentioned, we now patched in our transmitter. So we have power going to it via DTAP. We have a video signal going to it via SDI. Now we have this monitor, the Sumo 19-inch monitor right here. We have the receiver attached with a Noga arm. We have this SDI cable going into 12G. You have to make sure you pick 12G. In terms of resolution, that's the only one that's going to accept the video signal from the camera. And we have a battery attached to the Sumo in order to power the receiver. Yeah? So we got power, DTAP to receiver, SDI cable going out into 12G in, number 1. On the monitor itself, you have to make sure that you choose the source as 12G SDI 1 or SDI 2, depending on which port you put the SDI cable into, right? A lot of little details, a lot of little nuance. If you're not getting a video signal, it's probably because one of those things is off, right? So now, we have the wireless follow focus also attached. The zoom here is on the top left. My focus ring is here. So I could, first off, let me change the white balance here really quickly. There we go, auto white balance. We could pull focus to Ryan, zoom in. I could change the speed of the zoom. So if I want to do a slow zoom in, slowly zoom in. Here, let me make this even more dramatic. Done. And let's change exposure index. There we go. And then I'm going to zoom in with this controller all the way. 105. We're currently open at a 2.8, so this is pretty good shallow depth of field. You guys see that background? It's pretty soft back there. Now I could do a slow zoom out. I could make it even slower. But let's do a dramatic zoom in, right? Like super pensive, brooding. There you go. Or I could do a snap zoom. Cool? A couple of things you want to know about the Sumo. It's a touchscreen. Has various features down here. Probably the most important to you is going to be this red button. This has to do with monitor assist. This is going to give you peeking around anything that's in focus in the shot. So typically you're going to be looking at the eyes. So right there, the eyes look in focus. You could change the sensitivity of it. So you could make it super sensitive to sharp or less sensitive to sharp. That's with this button here on the right. You can change the color. You could change it to black and white, which is going to help you in terms of focus. My goal is to have, here, I'm going to change it to red, which you guys are more used to. My goal is to have a Sumo for the AC. So the AC is gonna have their own monitor, so they could be right here, right in front of it. And as Ryan moves forward and back, they could pull focus with it. Oh my God, so tricky. And then back. Okay, I need some practice. But on a 105 at a 2.8, that's a pretty tough pull.